Hi, I'm Leah, and I'm going to be presenting on my vision for the US in 2030 and how clean energy can help us save the planet and the coming changes for consumers, businesses, and the government. So, a little bit about me. I would consider myself pretty liberal. A democratic socialist would be my preferred political ideology, and above all else, I'm an environmentalist. And so most of this presentation is going to be based off of the video Electrify Everything by Sal Griffith, and it'll be linked in the bio. So basically, we are on track to have 100% clean energy by 2040 and over 50% by 2030. So we're not as screwed as we think. This is an example of what a house could look like in the future with rooftop solar, electric vehicles, a home battery, etc. And this way, this house can be completely powered by clean energy. These are the wind and solar energy trends since the 2000s. So as we can see that they're just rapidly increasing and exponentially. And so if these trends continue, then we will be completely fueled by clean energy by 2040. This is the Swanson's curve. So this basically shows how every time we double the amount of solar energy we produce, it'll decrease 20.2% in price, 14% for wind, and 21% for batteries. Currently, we are also seeing a rise in inflation, and oil and gas follow that inflation pattern almost perfectly, whereas solar and wind energy does not cause inflation. Here are some of the trends of gasoline, grid electricity, and natural gas versus clean energy. So we can see gasoline, electricity, natural gas, all of those are increasing in price and also very volatile, whereas clean energy would be inflation-proof, and investing in it now would not lead to any increase in costs. So some impacts for consumers if we were to switch to clean energy would be that their energy bills would decrease. So increased reliance on renewable energy will help protect consumers when fossil fuel prices spike, as we're seeing right now, and as we will see in the future as those resources get depleted. Consumers would also switch to electric cars as the US switches to clean energy, because this would reduce the number of consumer costs on gas, and that'll be continuing to be a volatile energy source. Consumers will also have more control over their electricity usage, because on the grid, solar and wind energy, it differentiates cost over the period of a day based on fluctuations in supply and demand. So consumers will be able to purchase their energy and control their electricity more so than they are right now. It'll also lead to improve public health. So there will be less air and water pollution in communities, which is a benefit to consumers and civilians. Some impacts for businesses, again, would be consistently lower energy bills. So as oil and gas becomes harder to come by, this would lead to an increase in price for those sources. So energy bills would be lower if they were to use clean energy. They would also get a public relations boost, because businesses that care about the environment and consumers' well-being are seen as having a better reputation. And as consumers are more conscious about their purchasing decisions, they would favor a business that is powered by clean energy. It would also create jobs and stimulate the economy. So as renewable energy increases, it requires more manpower than fossil fuels, and so a larger demand for that energy source creates more jobs. Businesses would also experience less service disruptions, because bad weather or natural disasters such as fires and hurricanes leads to power outages, and that would lead to the business losing money while it can't operate. Whereas with renewable energy sources, they are more stable and more decentralized, so businesses will not experience these service disruptions, and therefore they will not lose money. Another impacts for businesses, they would have a powerful return on investment. So savings on energy bills, maintenance and repairs, less spending on depleting fossil fuels will increase their economic benefits by switching to clean energy. Community improvement would also occur. So polluting the air and lowering quality of life would lead a business to have a bad reputation, whereas with clean energy, they'll have a better reputation, leading to more customers. So going along with this would be developing a new marketing approach. So conscious purchasing decisions are on the rise, and so with clean energy, the business would be seen as a green company, leading to more customers going to them over another. Going along with this as well would be having businesses become an industry leader. So whichever business switches to clean energy first can differentiate themselves from others, leading them to be an industry leader. So these are some of the car companies making the switch to clean energy and electric. So we can see that almost all major car brands will be doing this by 2040. Government policy surrounding clean energy is also going to become more and more attractive. So, for example, the Inflation Reduction Act that was just passed by the Biden administration has incentives for greener investments. There's a lot of them, but just to give you some examples, going electric with your appliances would lead you to get money back with home energy rebate programs. Investing in heat pumps, rooftop solar, electric HVAC, and water heaters can get you tax credits. Buying a new or used electric vehicle can help you get money off at the point of sale, which is an incentive to purchase those cars. This money is coming from a $1 billion grant program to make affordable housing more efficient. So apartment complexes and people that don't have as much control over their energy would be getting cleaner fueled. And also a $10 billion investment in credit for clean tech manufacturers, $2 billion in grants to help automaker facilities transition to clean vehicle production, and a lot more that just helps companies and consumers switch to greener investments. And also going along with this, I think government policy will continue to have stricter regulations and on pollution and emission because these are necessary for corporations to make the switch to clean energy. Cap and trade is another way that you can incentivize businesses to reduce their emissions. So basically, this is setting a cap for businesses and their fossil fuel emissions. For example, you can only emit so many tons of carbon, and so businesses can buy and sell carbon credits. So if a company needs to emit more, they can buy carbon credits from another company that's emitting less carbon. And so this incentivizes businesses to reduce their emissions so they can sell their carbon credits to other businesses and make money through that. So also, would socialism help? So short answer, yes, but only to the extent that the government entity in question cares about the environment. So some ways that socialism could help with this is public ownership of waste management, of water, electricity, gas, wind, and solar power production, but this would only work if these were democratically controlled. So these should be run by elected and recallable representatives of that workforce within the context of a democratic plan for the economy and society as a whole. So that would need to be proposed by government based on and accountable to democratically elected popular assemblies. Now, this is the dream for 2030. However, I don't think that it's necessarily realistic that the US would switch to this kind of government. So, in terms of what I would probably see in the future, would be that companies switch to clean energy due to the economic benefits instead of government control. But hopefully this could transition into a socialist, democratic socialist country in the years to come. In conclusion, clean and renewable energy is our way out of the climate crisis, so powering everything with solar, wind, hydroelectric, geothermal, etc. energy will allow the US and other countries reach net zero emissions. And so by decarbonizing our energy grid and the economy, we will be able to reach these climate goals. And also renewable energy sources will create more jobs, which is something a lot of US citizens are worried about. And so with renewable energy, there will be more jobs, which will make people happy. And how this fits with my views. So my only goal in life is to try my best to help fight against climate change in order to save animals, plants, and humans from environmental disasters that we're seeing right now and that could come in the future. And so that's why I chose to focus on electrifying everything for my 2030 US vision, because I think it is achievable and it's beneficial to consumers, businesses, and the environment. Thank you, and these are my sources.